We got Winnipeg, Nashville. Fantastic game. I'm looking forward to this one. Two teams with two of the better teams in the Western Conference, no question. 61-62. Nashville laying a big price at home, -150. Not many bargains these days to back this team. I think the odds makers are starting to get sick of having people bet Nashville and having to lose with this team because they're playing that good. They are. They're one of the absolute hottest teams in this league. They have a tremendous home ice record. Uh, they have been absolutely fantastic. 11-2 on home ice. I mean, only Vegas rivals them in terms of that being that good on their home ice this season. And Nashville's been that way. And I've said this time and time again about this hockey team. The moment they got uh, the Kyle Turris in that trade with the Ottawa Senators, uh, that's when things really started to. That's when I really started to look at this team as well. This team's really taken it to another level. They've been absolutely fantastic. Kyle Turris is already double digits in points in about 13 or 14 games played since joining the Nashville Predators. He has been terrific, and he gives this team an incredible amount of punch down the middle in terms of their 1, 2, 3 centers. But when you look at a Johansson, a Turris, and a Nick Bonino, who's of course been around now in this league for a while, won a Stanley Cup with Pittsburgh. I mean, that is a very impressive trifecta of centers that Nashville can go to war with night in and night out, and that's a big reason why they're a good hockey team right now. And you talk about our friend Dana Lane, who's talked about it many times. He likes strength down the middle in terms of the center ice position, and I'm in a complete agreement with that. You got to have that center ice position be solidified, and fortunately for the Nashville Predators, it's been that way so far. So again, that center ice position so important, and for the Nashville Predators, they have been able to get the job done and be able to score goals, have that consistency down the middle. And really, what I like about Nashville guys right now is that they are playing a complete game of hockey right now. Their offense is clicking. You look at what they've put up. They put up 3 goals or more the majority of their games. In 5 of their last 7, they've scored 3 goals or more. They've beaten Anaheim, Boston, Dallas, Vancouver, Edmonton, Calgary during this 6-1 stretch in their last 7 games. The only loss was to Vegas in a shootout. No shame in that, the way the Golden Knights have played this season. Lots to like with this Nashville team. Balanced team. They can score goals. They can defend when they have to. And Pekka Rinne right now has played, for the most part, good hockey. He's had the odd bobble this season, but nothing compared to the inconsistency that he's had in years past. So it's one of those situations where, uh, you know, Nashville to me, in terms of being a complete hockey team, they are showing that to me right now that they are playing that kind of complete game. Winnipeg, on the other hand, it's been a little bit of more of a struggle for them lately. 2-5 in their last 7 games, but they got righted the ship the other night at home against St. Louis. 4-0 shutout win against the Blues, and really they deserved a better fate in the previous game. The first game they played against St. Louis in St. Louis on Saturday night, they got shut out 2-0, but man, Carter Hutton was fantastic in that. Stood on his head, was tremendous. 48-30, completely outchanced, outshot the St. Louis Blues in that game. Had the majority of the territorial play and the dominance, and deserved to win that game too. So when you look at it, when you handicap and I always look back and see what the results were, the box score, the whole bit. Of course, I watched so many of these games, and I watched a lot of that Winnipeg St. Louis game Saturday night, and they were all over the Blues for extended stretches of that game. So you could say Winnipeg easily could have taken 4 out of 4 points in those 2 head-to-head games, back-to-back games against St. Louis. So I'm convinced the last 2 games they've been back on track, not so much just the last game that they won, because they probably should have won in St. Louis. So the last 2 games we've seen Winnipeg, even though they're just 1-1 in those games, the last 2 games we've seen Winnipeg play pretty good hockey, seem to starting to right the ship a little bit. We know offensively there are a bunch of options for this team. Mark Scheifele, Blake Wheeler, Brian Little, Patrick Laine, goes on and on and on. There's so many weapons on this team that can put the puck in the net. But it's going to be tested here against this Nashville Predators team. Nashville has been great at home. You look at what they've done head-to-head against Winnipeg at home. They've won 3 straight home games against the Winnipeg Jets since November 2016. So I respect Winnipeg. The last 2 games they've played better. They're still one of the I don't know if they're I still don't know if they're Stanley Cup contender yet, Winnipeg. I don't think they are yet, but they are trending toward being a playoff team, a solid enough team in the Western Conference. But I've said it before. I'm not stepping in front of this Nashville team. That's all there is to it. Especially at home, 11-2. I know the price is up there, -150, but not interested in fading Nashville. Total wise, it could go either way. Winnipeg is not the over machine they are on the road that they are at home. There's a big drop off in terms of their over under results playing in Winnipeg compared to on the road. So I'm not in a rush to bet over. I actually maybe lean under in this game. Don't forget, they played 2-0 and 4-0 games against St. Louis in the last 2. Both of them stayed under the total. Nashville can't play defense. They can play a 2-1, 3-1 game. Nashville can win that way, and they can also win 6-5. That's what's great about the Predators. They can win games in different fashions, different styles. So from a totals perspective, tough one, but you are getting plus money on the under, 5.5, plus 100, plus 05, plus 105. So for that reason, with the price you can get, maybe slightly into the under, but it's Nashville or pass for me from a side perspective in that game.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to our channel. Now, we've put a lot of work into producing all these free videos, so please help us out and keep all our content free for you forever by simply liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Now, not to mention, a visit to our industry-leading website will warm the hearts of all our SBR employees, especially myself. Now, the links are over there to the left, so do check those out. Thanks for watching.